in well and he's fitted in well to the whole setup. So, they've got a lot of talent, as I said. They've got the Curry brothers. They've got Sean coming back into contention after being out injured. You've got Colin, who's firing, had a very impressive here the last day. So you've got a lot of lads who are maybe, potentially coming of age.
Yeah.
And, can they do it now? They probably flopped a little bit in the semi-final last year. So they'll be eager to just, make that step up and show that they're kind of ready to deliver, because that's what it's all about. You said they've had that underage success, but can they deliver on the big stage, and can they step up and kind of start to do it at senior level?
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned the Currys there, because I think there's, I was chatting to a couple of the Fianna people, even walking down the Clancarty Road today, they were kind of saying that if the Curry brothers click, then the Fianna are going well, even throughout, the years underage, coming through. But I do want to speak about Colin Curry in particular, because he got the last 3 scores in the quarter-final win against Jude's, an extra time win as well, that I suppose showed the resilience of this Fianna side, that they're able to grind out the results as well, and that kind of goes back to that hunger and that fight and that attitude as well. But how important is he? Because you look at that team, you look at Liam Rush, you look at Donald Burke, you look at the inter-county players, but Colin Curry was immense in that quarter final. Yeah,
he was, and it's exactly the type of player they're looking for to stand up, and as you said, that character that they showed in extra time, that really bodes well for them. And I suppose the question marks going into that game was they hadn't been tested, and we knew Judes would bring that bit of a that aggression and that challenge to the game, which they did. So look, they stood up to that, they got through it, and they'll be delighted. And so they're coming into this full of confidence here. They've the likes of AJ Murphy. They might be maybe missing Michael Murphy as well. He had been playing very well. He might be a doubt. I don't know if he's playing or not. But look, they have a lot of reserves. They have the panel there as well. Equally Lucan as well. So it's just, look, it makes for an intriguing kind of contest. And I'm sure both squads will be, both squads will be used. And you see subs coming in here. You'll see, 4 or 5 subs off either team as well. And who can maybe get that impact as well, coming in off the bench as well.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if Michal Murphy plays. He's named at 26, but we've seen what he adds to Liam Rush's game as well, just sweeping in defence. Now it is Donal Ryan and Paul O'D named at 5 and 7. They're, the whole of the Fianna defence are going to have their hands full, because then you look at Lucan, Paul Crummy, Kieran Dowling, Chris Crummy, if he does play in the half-forward line as well. I mean, they've such a potent attacking threat.
They do, and very impressive with Kieran Dowling and Paul Crummy inside. They've been really like they're winning their 50-50s. They're getting their scores, they're getting goals, and I suppose Chris Crummy as well. What a man to be able to just slot aimlessly into centre back or centre forward. So. From a neutral point of view, I'd love to see him at centre forward himself and Liam Rush maybe going at it as well.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, exactly. So the two of them, that could be a clash of the powerhouses there. So that would be one to look forward to if we see that at some point as well. But Chris can just aim, up centre forward, and at his ease can knock scores, and equally just a depth at centre back. So Lucan will see best where to use him, and that's a little thing that they can to change their whole game around. They can swap him either as well. So great options to have. And great versatility for Lucan on that one. Yeah,
absolutely. Great balance as well. You have Johnny McCaffrey, Peter Kelly, the experience, and young Charlie Kerr might start along with Colin Walsh. They both played minor hurling for Dublin, but haven't even played 20s yet. Listen, Dottie, it should be an intriguing battle, as throw-in is coming up in a couple of moments' time. So let's get you up to your commentary team, Joe Fortune, and first, Oisin Lang.
Thank you very much. It is the build-up to the Big Two in today's go-ahead Dublin Senior Hurling Championship semi-finals. A little bit later, Kilmacud Crooks taking on Cooler. Remember, you can watch that game on TG Cahir, but you can stay right here for Lucan against Na Fianna. Before we get into the teams, Joe, what are you expecting from this match?
I look really looking forward to it. Like you're looking at the day that's ahead on a serious basis for Dublin hurling. So many young players coming through from underage setups, along with some of the older guard as well. Like, you look at this game here now, both teams, there's going to be progression here for one of these teams, because both of them fell last year at semi-final stage. Now, are Na Fianna going to be up for it? Are they going to be up for the battle, which people keep on questioning? And then you've got a Lucan team last year who, really overwhelming, really great victory over Crokes last year, and then probably very disappointing in themselves in the semi-final. So, like, what a game ahead. Like, you can see it already out there. The crowds are buzzing in, and it's a great day here. The excitement is building, like today, who's going to be in the county final for 2021.
There's just something different in the air today compared to the previous games, the quarterfinals and the first round matches. You'd know There was something big at stake today. It's a huge encounter for both of these two. Let's have a look at the teams as they have been named, but of course we know these may not necessarily be how they start. How important are the Crummy brothers for Lucan?
Oh, look, huge. Like the last day, I suppose Chris was playing in defence, and then management decided to put him forward. He went, got 3 or 4 points from play. He's massive. Paul, his movement all year has been really impressive. That diagonal run that Lucan are creating, that 2 inside, and look, in general, like there's serious warriors in that team. Johnny McCaffrey, Bellew, Peter Kelly, Matthew McCaffrey. They've all been there and done it. Shawnee McClellan. So huge battle ahead, I think, here. And
Kieran Dowling, one to watch if you haven't checked out Lucan so far in the championship. He has been tearing it up. Let's have a look at the Nafina starting 15. Well, the name that jumps off the team sheet there is Liam Rush. We don't know if Micheál Murphy is starting yet. We're having a look around to see who's going where and what's what, but as it has been named, Joe, what do you make of that Nafina team? Yeah, look, it's a very strong team. Most, if not all, of those players have played at an underage capacity with Dublin. You look at Jono's back and goal now again. Rushy really adds a serious bite to that defence, and look, there's going to be a big battle. I see himself and PK lining up there now. That'll be one to watch. But look, the forwards inside, AJ, to young Curry's, Burke, like really exciting forwards for Dublin. So real great battle ahead. There's already a bit of tussling going on, as you would expect. The stakes are big. The battle will be big. The referee today, by the way, is Tom Gleeson from St Finbarrs. Before we get the action underway, there will be a moment's silence for Sean McDermott, former St Joseph's player and former St Vincent's member. The ball is in, the game is on. The first of 2 Go Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior Championship semi-finals today in hurling, and it's Nafina who have the first attack, and already there has been a change. Is one of the men who wasn't named to start but has going to score? Yes, Fergal Brannock. Good point. Yeah, and young Curry grabbed the ball really well out of that ruck as well. And Brannock went on a really good run down the centre, testing that 6 there as well, where Chris seems to have lined up to start. Sean Curry is also in from the start. He's kind of floating between the 65s at the moment. I went down and I did ask the teams beforehand. I said, you don't have to tell me because it's sensitive information, but if there's any changes, you can let me know. Neither of them did. The stakes are big. That's tough. Like, you see that ball that drops there now as well. PK and Rush, you're going to have a big battle there in the middle. But, Nafina just coming out on top of the ruck ball. Tracy will jog out to strike this one. What a battle for that number 1 spot in Nafina. John O'Tracy, who's played for Dublin, and Owen Skelly, who's played for Westmeath. A Westmeath team who've got a great manager now. Ball down towards that forward line. Nafina man gets out in front. It's a good take and a good turn by Donald Burke. Burke from a tight angle. Burke with a zippy point. Great score from Donald Burke. Yeah, look, he's been marked by John Bellew as well. And if you were picking guys to go to war with you, Bellew would be one of them. A really good, tight, tenacious man marker. But that's a good score from Burke off the sideline. That was what I'd call a forward's ball. It favours a forward to win it, and then he got away from his man and was able to knock it over. That's an exquisite catch by Crummy, but he's bottled up by 2. Crummy showing great strength here, and Crummy winning the free. Great hurling from Paul Crummy. Direct stuff from Lucan. Yeah, brother to brother, and again, great for Dublin. Like to see that again. What we spoke about before the match, that ability to win his own aerial ball, tough, aggressive player, and great ball out of defence by Chris to trust the brother to win it, and he's done that. So likely the first score on the board now for Lucan as well. You can sense it, Ocean, like it's different. Like the last couple of days I've been in here, like that whole fever that's there. You can even see the linesmen there and umpires have haircuts now. You know the big television cameras are in. Lucan looking for their first score. That's a fine strike. Dowling taps it over. We did mention him before the game. We did say he's been tearing it up. It's important if you're one of the scorers to get a point or 2 early on, isn't it? It is, yeah, and just to settle the nerves. And Duck Dowser has had really good games. I've been really impressed with him this year and the role that he's playing. Just in frees, it's just so important. Peter Kelly from right out the country. Peter Kelly, great strike from the All-Star, and it's 2 points apiece. Yeah, it's a great score, and that settled him now well for that battling on Rushy at 6. But again, go back to Dowser. He's had a great year, but it's settling himself. That's another great ball wonder on the side. Lucan probing again. It's McCaffrey, just slipped through the hand there of Dowling. Coming in to try and take it is Kerr. Dowling sweeps it on. Dowling looking for his first one from play and not getting it. It's wide. A first wide of the match for Lucan.
Yeah, unlucky. Broke onto the ball well, and again, been very impressed with it. The people that Lucan have taken in off their line over the last couple of the last couple of games. But like Nafina as well, just settling down. Look at that shape inside. Like, there's so much space. There's 50 yards of space there in front of AJ as well. So they need to keep an eye on that. I know Johnny is sitting back and Chris there as well.
Burke was fouled by Peter Kelly, and I wonder, will Sean Curry fancy this one? No, he won't. Well, it's left behind there by cornerback Alan Murphy. Nafina try and gather it through Quilty. Quilty, who has played for Dublin. Now in to try and dig it out is Donald Burke, a very strong man. Colin Curry in there as well. It's in the hand of Lucan's Matthew McCaffrey, but it goes loose again. He looks like he's holding back Sean Baxter, and it is a free in.
Yeah, Baxter is an enigma for me. Like, he starts as cornerback or 2 or 4 every game, and the same last year when we were facing him in a semi-final. He just pops up in the right position every time. Like, he has that freedom role to allow himself to go forward, and again, just drag back a small bit from the free. But I thought Chris did really well to stay out of that ruck as well, and he was that out ball for if it was available, if that free hadn't been given away.
That's floated over. Solid strike from Donald Burke. You would expect nothing less from that position from Donald Burke.
Yeah, and the great thing the last day when he did come to wobble a small bit the last day, you know, he's a great man to take over the mantle as well in young Curry too. But here's the big battle for me now today. Look, that's the
Rush does get it away, and he's frontally challenged there. It's a free out. Rush brings such an edge, such a physicality. He's down, but he won't be down for long. There is a breeze blowing against Nafina, by the way, in this first half. A sunny day, not too cold for this time of year. We had a shower of rain earlier on, but at the moment the conditions are good. Slippy on the pitch because of that rain. AJ Murphy makes it his. Andrew James to give him his full title. Pops it off. Sean Curry misses.
Yeah, AJ showed really well there. I've been saying it for a long time. You know, when AJ's on song, he's really important for Nafina. He played at 11 for us in 16, and really good player when he's on form. So great ball inside, but here they come on the attack now again. But
Bernock fumbles it, and he's lucky he gets it back. What can they do with this? Donald Ryan. Ryan takes them all on. That's a really good pass to Sean Curry. It's a wind up and go from Paul O'Dea. Paul O'Dea with a really good score. That's
a super score, Oisin. And again, young Curry did really well. Sean came in the last day, got a couple of minutes into the system, and again, you know, when I heard a comment there during the week when the Currys are playing well and the Fianna seem to be playing well, and both of them have started really well in this game.
Lucan go direct. They have that option. They have ball winners up top. Trying to gather that is Kieran Dowling. You don't want to give him any time or any space from the Nafina point of view. It's a risky enough hand pass, but it does work out. Steaming forward is Matthew McCaffrey. Gives it to Paul Crummy. Crummy. He's unlucky. Second wide.
Yeah, great passage of play as well. Like Dowser did really well there, that interlinking play, and just unlucky with the shot going wide. But you can see it all around the field here now as well. There's an awful lot of off the ball stuff, and you know, there's a lot of close eyes being kept on opposition markers.
Came off a Lucan stick, but it won't go out. It's gathered by Peter Feeney. Good score from Feeney.
It's funny how she doesn't. He's mentioned rarely. You know, Feeney's a fine player. Like, he covers an awful lot of ground in that middle third for Nafina over the last couple of years, and that's a great score off the left hand side.
Sean McClelland, who's playing in goal for the first time ever. He played underage as an outfielder for Dublin, but he's had a very good season. I mean, he made one slight error against Crave Kieran early on, but they got away with it. They got through the game. They got the win. But largely he's been well. That was interesting. He's done well. Largely Donald Burke intercepts that. It's out for a line ball to Lucan.
Yeah, Shawnee's puckouts are a huge, a new, I suppose, venture that Lucan have gone on this year. Made one mistake the last year, like you said, but you know, underage wise, coming through was a great corner wing back for a minor team. I had him in 15 as a cornerback, and you know, I love the way of thinking now this year, because that puckout system has gone so important in hurling as well. It's not just hit the ball anymore. That's it.
Kieran Darling is shepherded out over the line, and it is an Afina line ball. Just goes to show that you can use your strength in close contact without fouling. Just keep the hands down. That seems to be the key.
Yeah, great coaching there as well. Like, you'd know that the lads in charge in the Fianna as well are doing a good job. You can see that ushering out over the line, that's probably the politest way you could put it. But that reminder as well, when he went over the line, they seem to be up for the battle here today. And you know, they're 3 points up now after, 8 minutes. So Lucan need the next score, I think.
That's a really good line ball from Sean Curry. AJ Murphy was the aim. It was intercepted. Now it's into the hand of John McCaffrey. Peter Kelly's trying to get there. Oh, he's unlucky. He fumbled it. It's that time of year where it's that bit harder to catch the sliotar. Shane Barrett tries to move it on. Shane Barrett, another man who's worn the blue of Dublin. That's a launcher from Liam Rush. And Liam Rush, another former All-Star on that pitch, puts it over. Great score.
Yeah, great work by Barrett as well at a 12 rather than having him in a half back line, and a super score by Rushy.
Rigney goes long. The aim is Paul Crummy. It was intercepted brilliantly by Kevin Burke and then cleaned up, I think, by Brannock. Liam Rush on it again. Nafina running this one out. Falls for the hand of Sean Baxter, who's bundled over. Lucan get it back. Feeney. I beg your pardon, Smith. This will sound like a silly statement, but all of a sudden, Nafina seemed to be 4 points up.
Yeah, it's not silly. Like, and you look at the it is a real war of attrition out there. There's a lot of heavy hits going in. I'm not really sure why that was blown, to be honest with you, because maybe it's because it's a head injury. But those are put in, and that's something he's added to his game this year. Like, he's really putting in those heavy tackles and that work rate in around the middle third. But I can't get over the space that's inside there for the two lads inside. Without, I suppose Chris is going back in there now. But there's 50 yards of space in front of Curry and AJ inside, and that middle third, like you said, the Fianna's running game is it's handing them scores, and it's also allowing those two boys inside to get that extra bit of work done and get a foothold on the markers inside as well.
Ronan Rollo Smith, as he's known, has been part of Dublin panels, has a big interest in martial arts as well, so he's a tough customer, hard to put down. Sean Curry, not sure what the aim was with that, but it didn't work out, and then Chris Crummy is fouled and it's a free out. McClelland, clever restart. Paul Rigney, a real stalwart of the club. Crummy taking off. He's looking inside for Kerr. It holds up nicely. Kerr gets it under control. Bit of pressure being put on by Conor Kelly. Great tackle by Kelly. And there was an attempt to pick it off the ground there from a Lucan player, and it's a free out. Really good defending by Nafina.
Yeah, young Kelly did really well, and Burke did well initially there as well. Chris hit the ball in, and young Kerr has been brilliant, I think, all in the last couple of games for Lucan, but just really, really good defensive play by Nafina.
Tracy looking for Barrett. Can't make it his. AJ Murphy comes in. Swept up brilliantly by Colin Curry. Colin Curry. Good score, Colin Curry.
Yeah, they're winning them breaking balls. You know, like the battle is fine, but like you have to be, I suppose, aggressive on the ball that hits the ground as well. And the Fianna are on top of that at the moment. 5 points ahead now.
Lucan are going direct. It hasn't worked out so far. Chris Crummy fired it long. He was looking for Paul, but Paul couldn't make it his. But it is a free, I think. It's a puck out. Great catch by Barrett. Barrett trying to shake off Alan Murphy. Murphy does well. It's a line ball to Nafina. I heard a voice in my ear saying what I thought was free there, but it was actually folder and shot. So my apologies if you missed some of the game because you were looking at my folder. AJ Murphy finding a nice piece of grass. The pitch in good condition despite the fact that it's seen an awful lot of action, and it's that time of year where pitch is cut up. He's got the height and elevation, and he's got the accuracy as well. It always looks better when it goes off the woodwork, doesn't it?
It does.
Great score.
I've seen him doing that for so many times as well, like in Dublin training and matches. Like he has that potential when he's on song. He's as good as what there is inside in any capacity for a Dublin team.
Dowling. Neat turn by Dowling. Has a go, but this will drop, and Crummy's trying to get to the back stick.
Great score.
Well, it goes all the way over. I didn't think it had the distance when it took off, but it did. Great score. I really thought that was dropping to the back stick, but no, he gave it enough.
It's a serious puck out if OD gets it.
In a foot race here with McCaffrey. Chris Crummy will sweep this up. Crummy trying to get away from OD. Alan Murphy. Kerr is trying to come out to meet this. Connor Kelly tugs him back as you'd expect any cornerback to do. He still makes it his though, Kerr. He's got a man inside, but there was just too many yellow jerseys around. Kelly did well. He stopped him getting in on goal. Then he gave away the free. It's not the worst end result, but there was some good work from Kerr.
Yeah, I'm not sure Carl will be getting. He'll be sending too many Christmas cards to Tom as well. There, like I thought it was a free the first time, but again, like he's an exciting young player. Like he's a huge prospect going forward this year for the Dublin 20s as well. Like he's well able to win his own ball and he's pacey. But again, great defending. Just that bit of a trip at the end that conceded a free.
Charlie Kerr, as you say, he does come with that pedigree of having played for Dublin underage. Kieran Dowling, another one in that bracket. Oh, he's dragged it wide. That's a bad miss. Bernock rides the challenge really well of Crummy. Barrett is waiting for it. Is that OD? It's OD who's also wearing a white helmet. OD! Great score. Beautifully worked by Nafina.
Yeah, and Nafina again, that setup that they have with Brannock there is sitting as a kind of a go six, like he's doing it really well, and not only is he sitting there, but he's moving then when he gives the ball, super ball to OD, and again, great score by Paul out on the right hand side.
It's direct again from Lucan from Smith. Might fall for Dowling. Tracy comes out and gets it in hand. Has to try and break past Kerr. Tracy did very well. It is a 65, but it could have been worse if he didn't deal with that.
It's a big test now, isn't it? Like you've missed a free that's somewhat easy there a couple of minutes ago. A big test mentally now for him. Get the ball over the bar, and look, he's had a great year, like I said, but there's been a couple of games where he wouldn't have been happy with his own free taking, but look, this could settle the nerves for him now. It's a big one for him.
Well, he's at that age where every game he plays, he's still getting better, and every game he plays, he's learning lessons. I imagine this will be the last attempted goal before the water break. Dowling missed the last one. He scored 2 so far, 1 from a free, 1 from play. That's an exquisite score from Dowling. Missed the last one, didn't miss this one. He's bounced back well. And now it's time for the water break. We'll get a look at some of the highlights of the game so far in just a moment, but actually we'll take a look at them now. Joe, there's been some good scores here.
Yeah, look, Nafina have started really, really well. Like they're getting something out of all of their forwards. I think if I was to be critical of Lucan, you'd have to say that is there enough coming out of them, that inside line? Like Charlie's working hard, but is there an end product? Obviously Dowser, Peter Kelly has got a score as well. But again, like you look at Burke here, he gets a second away from John Bellew and bang over the bar, and they've gotten something out of AJ. They've, again, a good free taken here, but they've gotten something out of nearly all their forwards, along with their half back line. Rushy's come in with a score, Paul O'Dee's come in with a score. So for me so far, Nafina have started very, very well, and I'd say the Lucan management will have me a little word of to make sure that long ball that's going in, it's been curtailed by that kind of ghost six that's inside, so they need to work harder at winning their own ball, but also the runners off the shoulder need to happen a little bit more.
Lucan have hit 3 wides. A couple of those were scoreable. Will that count for something in the end? We'll find out over the course of the next wee while. And of course, don't forget, this has to end today. Extra time and penalties if required. They've only been level once. That was in the 3rd minute, but since that, Nafina have had the better of it. 5 points between them. Nothing in a hurling match. Tracy. Just got away from Alan Walsh. Chasing after it now is Colin Curry. Crummy takes it, as you'd always expect him to do. And he wins the free out.
Yeah, they need that bit of leadership now. The Chris and PKs and Johnny and stuff, they really need to lead that, and that bit of drive coming out there. That's a great ball to win by Chris, and you know they need that bit of leadership now for some of the younger players. And it's a big free here now for Dozer as well, a big fair distance out.
He does have a stiff enough breeze with him. Is that something that Lucan will be worried about, being behind at the break with the breeze against them in the second half, if that is to be the case? Dowling tries to make them a little less behind, and he does. 2 fantastic dead ball strikes in a row, one a 65, one a free, and it means that there's only 4 between them now.
I don't know, just to answer you as a manager, I don't know, look, we were a couple, 3 or 4 points down to Fianna last year at half time as well in a county semi-final. Look, the only time you have to be ahead is at whatever, 64, 65. It is a case of getting the right message in, and I suppose whether you like the water break or not, it does give an opportunity to managements to have that word in the ear of what might not be working. I like this tactic by Fianna. It's like, I'm watching him run now again, he delivers the ball and the movement constantly all the time up the line. Ball into AJ again.
AJ Murphy going after this one, it falls nicely for him. He went to pass it inside and completely miscued it. Away comes McCaffrey. Chasing after that one is Paul Crummy. Can't keep it alive. Line ball for Fianna.
Like those moves look great when they work, Oisin. I think you mentioned a while ago there about the ball wet. You know, the ground is a little bit wet there. It's or whatever, in October, nearly November day now, and it looks great when it comes off. But Baxter made a great run. AJ's ball just mishit. But again, Fianna look impressive when they're on the run, and I suppose that youth, that athleticism that they have, and again you can see the battle that's going on there between Rush and Peter Kelly. That's serious in the middle there.
Curry goes outside. O'D fancies another one. He's already got 2. For the moment, we can't make it 3. Second wide for Fianna. Crummy. Fianna have an extra player back. He didn't get there. That was Bernock. Kerr is trying to kick it forward. Might squirt out here for O'Conneilla. That's really good and strong defending by Feeney, who delivers it to his midfield partner, Martin Quilty. Quilty across the way to AJ Murphy. What a fantastic catch that was from Luke Walsh, but it's been given as a foul. I have to say, I can't understand that. It's tough to be a referee, but he didn't have the hand on the back. He went for the ball. There wasn't much more he could do.
Yeah, I'd probably prefer not to comment on that. Well, that's harsh, I think. But again, look, you're calling it, and I suppose there's been a bit of back chat here now as well. Look, no matter what you're going to do, you're not going to change the mind. I've been in that position with over the years, and I can't say I'm the nicest person to deal with when something like that happens either. But look, AJ showed well, but I think the defender was a little bit hard done by there. But Tom's doing a great job in the match as well. Like, it's not an easy match to ref there. Like, you can see that there's a lot of contentious little hard hits and hard tackles. So not the easiest match for anybody to ref, I think.
No, he's a good ref. I just think he made a mistake there. And Luke can agree with me. Fianna, no doubt, probably do, but they won't say a word. Would you if it was your team? No, you wouldn't. Tapped over. Donal Burke with his 3rd of the game. He's 2nd from a free. Just couldn't quite keep it alive on O'Conneilla. It was a good idea, but it wasn't executed well. Paul O'D, who's popping up everywhere, left and right.
You can see Crummy calling there, because if you want him to sit back in that pocket to mind the 2 boys inside, he can't be expected to come to midfield either. Like, and he's driving the lads on in front of him. But again, you can see the pockets of space that are popping up.
That race is going to be won by Bellew, who wins the free.
You'd want to hit that man very hard now for him to go down. Like, he's a great player. Like, I had him in 16 with Dublin, and anything you'd ask John Bellew to do, he'll do for you. And he's done quite well on Donal so far. Apart from that point, Donal got on the left hand side. But again, like, these frees are so important for Dozer, and 5 points in to bring it back to a 4-point game with 10 minutes to go in the first half.
And the rain is beginning to fall again on Parnell Park. It's a light drizzle, but it's still just going to make that pitch a bit slippier, a bit heavier. Dowling looking for point number 5. Hasn't got it, but that was one of those kind of shot to nothing ones where if you score it, great. If you don't lose too much sleep because it was from so far out. 4 wide.
Great puck up by Tracy there.
Fantastic puck out. Recycle outside by Feeney. Rush. He's looking for Curry. Alan Walsh is stuck to Curry. Colin Curry did well to get it into the hand and pop it off for Shane Barrett, who hits it wide. A 3rd wide for Nafina. Crummy trying to get there is Kerr. It's a good take, but he's got 2 with him. Kerr. I'm not sure if it was the Nafina supporters or the Lucan supporters who were cheering there, but I imagine it was the Nafina ones because they saw it was wide from the moment it was struck. Fergal Bernach. Donal Ryan can't get there. Lucan catch a break.
Yeah, well done by Colin Mulch there as well. He didn't give up on it, and he forced that turnover. And again, like you'd like to see a little bit more coming from inside, from the lads inside. At end product, it's just not happening for them yet. Like they're just a little bit too reliant at the moment on Dowser's frees.
Peter Kelly gives the forward a chance there. Kerr couldn't get to it. He's lost his Hurley. Bernach is back there. That's presented to OD, who takes it very, very well. He had a rush inside. He also had Feeney inside. Feeney driving on. Now it's Rush. AJ Murphy takes it well. Has Curry outside. Curry back inside. It's Sean Curry. The Curry's combining. And it's a free out. Did they overplay it there?
A bit, but it got a bit dead there for the last 2 or 3 minutes. Like it was nearly going through the motions. Like a really easy ball be given across from OD back to the centre again. And like Chris comes in then and just wins that manly ball that's needed. And I just think at the moment they're not winning, but there's a chance here now.
Here's Shane Barrett. He's got Curry outside. He's got Murphy inside. He's still going himself. Just took it into a crowd. Luke Walsh. The foul is committed. Nafina have had a couple of opportunities that they haven't taken.
Yeah, and the Lucan crowd are not happy either there. Shane seemed to take quite a number of steps on the way through there now, and again he'd probably claim he was fouled himself. But look, Lucan fighting very hard, but I keep going back to the fact that what's curtailing him at the moment is having young Brannock in sitting in front of the D. You can see him there. He's moving every time, and he's allowing Rushy to drop back a small bit off PK as well. So I suppose Lucan just need to get a little bit more out of that inside line, and look, Chris is leading him on there now as well. You can see PK talking to the younger players inside, but it's just time to stand up now and win their own ball inside.
Great take by Crummy. You'd spot that hand from space. He's got such a big hand. Here's Peter Kelly. Miscues, hits it wide. Remember, we'd love to hear what you have to say about this game or any other hurling or Gaelic football matter. You can get us on Twitter at DubGAOfficial, and don't forget to hashtag #GoAheadDSHA. Murphy had a man running off him. That was Donal Burke. Murphy will go himself and taps it over. Good score from him.
Yeah, great score from AJ. Good ball in from Rush as well. Like, and again, maybe on other occasions people in centre back would hit that over the bar themselves, but trusted AJ to win his own ball, and again he's on form. His touch is good.
Conor Kelly slips at the vital time. Kelly steals away with it. He's having a very good game. Curry tries to get there. Got it initially but couldn't make a stick. Matthew McCaffrey swept in. Chris Crummy is in there. Picked off the ground. Free out for Lucan. The Lucan backs are beginning to get on top, I think.
Yeah, the half-back line is doing really well. I think inside Age is causing problems, but like Chris is leading him quite heavily there as well in the middle, and he's talking and he's driving the thing on and he's winning that physical battle 100%. But I still think every time the ball goes inside you worry, especially with that off-the-shoulder runner that Nafina are creating from the middle of the field.
Just missed by Paul Crummy. Pulled on by Kevin Burke. Sean Curry takes it out of defence. Riding the tackle is Martin Quilty. Peter Feeney. AJ Murphy racing out. He's being followed by Luke Walsh. Walsh does well. Murphy goes to ground. Walsh gets it into hand.
It's better now.
There was no one on the side where he was pucking it. Parnell. O'D. Really sizzling stick pass to Quilty, who did get it under control. Quilty lets it go and hits it wide, and I think the Lucan fans will feel that justice was done there because they think there should have been a free. Well, it was mentioned a couple of times coming into this game that Na Fianna might have been a little bit irritated by people saying, you know, are they up for the battle? I think that question has been answered so far. They certainly are, as are Lucan. Luke Walsh. Was there a foul? Referee says no. Kerr goes hunting. Fullback Burke came away with it. Na Fianna moving it through the lines. Here's Donald Burke. Went out off a Lucan stick. That will be a Na Fianna line ball.
Yeah, good defending there by Matt McCaffrey and John Bellew too. I think, again, Lucan seemed to feel that they were hard done by there for a free on the way in. That wasn't called. But look, like, you have to put it down to, like, Lucan, what you said a few minutes ago about Na Fianna not being up for the battle. It does irritate players, but I think, you know, until you win one Usheen, that's going to be there with a team that's had so much underage success. And I suppose last year, you know, got to a semi-final, and the big question now is, can they drive this on for the last couple of minutes of the first half and get to their first county senior final?
Lucan have been relatively recent visitors to a final, but they've never won one. AJ Murphy gave it enough air, but not enough accuracy. Two minutes of added time. Luke Walsh. Walsh down the wing. Intercepting it there was Colin Walsh. McCaffrey. Spilled it into the path of Bellew. Trying to kick it forward is Dowling. It's taken by Baxter. Real clash to the ash there. Colin Walsh threw his hurley in there. It goes up in the air. That's a really brave catch by Quilty, I beg your pardon. Outside it goes to Donald Burke. Curry's the only man inside. But sometimes with Curry, you only need him. Now the brother arrives. Brilliant goalkeeping. He might get a second bite at this. Has to go back outside. And it's netted by Colin Curry. Sean and Colin combine, and Na Fianna get the goal.
Yes, huge score, and again, what a hand pass out at time as well. The two brothers inside. I thought Chris had him, and Shawnee had done well the first time to block it down. It's a big score rushing before half time as well. Like that puts them, what, 8-9 points up.
Sean and Chris in support of each other. Brilliantly finished by Colin Curry, brilliantly made by Sean Curry. Do Na Fianna have a response here? Trying to run onto it is Colin Walsh. O'D taking it out of defence. He's fouled. No, he's not. Shane Barrett steps away from Dowling. McCaffrey got a partial block on that one. Liam Rush picked off the ground, free in. Lucan could do with a couple of scores to settle them down before half time.
Yeah, look, if you're analysing, if you're sitting up in the stand and you're looking down, you're talking to, you know, Sean McCaffrey or whoever, like, who's involved with Lucan there, you'd be kind of saying to yourself, like, what have they done wrong except not get enough out of the inside line? Matt McCaffrey won a ball there a couple of minutes ago on the sideline here, went out, looked up, and you've got two Na Fianna guys standing in front of Paul inside, you know, so they're not getting enough out of the inside, and I keep saying that. But again, look, there's a couple of frees here now, but unless they get a couple of scores on the board before half time, there's a big lead building here, and Na Fianna, when they have the tails up, are not easily reined in.
Dowling. Over it goes, a much needed score for Lucan. They're a spirited team, you wouldn't write them off, but they are certainly in a spot of bother here in this go-ahead Dublin Senior Hurling Championship semi-final. The first of two today. The second is Coola against Crokes. You'll be able to watch that on TG Cahir. It's left behind by Kelly, but he has the time and space to pick it back up again. It was actually Kevin Burke. He's fouled. It's a free out. The last thing Lucan need to do is lose their cool.
Yeah, good puck out again from Tracy. They're using Fergie Brannock really well. There's a good tactic, like we've said, and they're using it's allowing Rushy to sit in the centre and sit at 6. And again, John was coming out here to hit a free in now, but you know, it's more a case at the moment, I think, for Lucan, that they're just like, it's not Donald Burke that's doing it for Nafina, it's the other guys, and that's testament to the quality that Nafina have available to them as well.
Murphy, eventually it falls to him, shovels it outside to Donald Burke, the man you just mentioned, and right on cue, he pops it over.
Just when you mention it. Again, that breaking ball, Oisín, that they're more active, they're more alive to that breaking ball, which I'm sure like the Lucan backroom team will be talking about at half time now. It's that breaking ball that's killing them inside, especially on the half forward line. Nafina seem to be getting on top an awful lot more there.
112 Nafina, 6 points Lucan Sarsfields at half time in this go ahead Dublin Senior Hurling Championship semi-final. It's a bit more one-sided than we expected. We thought this would be tight, and it may still be in the second half. We're not writing off Lucan. Let's have a look at some of the highlights of the second quarter, including that goal made by the Curries.
Yeah, look, a 9-point lead at half time, like, you have to say, in an awful lot of ways, Nafina are well value for it. You know, they're getting an awful lot out of Paul O'D in the half back line. The idea of that Brannock, you know, the role that he's playing inside is really, really pivotal. To some really good scores from AJ. He got a great sideline as well. And look, when it comes to the goal here, it was a really, really brave pass across, and McClellan did really, really well in the goal. And then again, and look, you see young Curry, he just takes that extra second to say, I'm not going to miss this, and he buries it to the back of the net. And look, maybe answers the questions of an awful lot of critics out there about whether these two young fellas are up to it or not long term for Dublin Hurling. And they've had a good role, a strong presence there today. And again, they're not relying on Donald Burke, but then just as you say that, Burke puts the ball over the bar from the sideline.
Nafina have been very good in the first half. 112 for them, 6 points for Lucan Sarsfield. Second half commentary to come, but right now we're going to go to the sideline where Shane Dawson will get some analysis with Dottie.
Thank you very much, Oisín. Yes, I'm pitch side here with Dottie Allen, or just beside pitch side. We're under the weather here. We expected that to be a lot closer in the first half than it transpired to be.
Yeah, we did, Shane, but it's been very impressive. Nafina, you know, really on song all around the pitch. First to every ball, you know, playing cohesive hurling, linking up, getting the ball in early. And there's a lot of players on song here today, and you know, it's certainly worrying from a Lucan perspective, you know, and the way Nafina are playing, it's hard to see a path back for Lucan here. You know, they're going to need something. A lot of their big players aren't maybe in the game, and unless they get into it quick, you know, and the way Nafina are playing, they could cut loose here again and open up and really build on that lead, you know.
If you're to stick your manager's hat on now, I know you had a good season with Olaf's managing.
Well.
If you're Lucan, if you're Sean McCaffrey and you're part of the Lucan management team there, what's the message at half time? Like, what do you say?
Yeah, I suppose you're just trying to do stuff to get into the game, you know. I mean, they're kind of, now Nafina are putting them under huge pressure. Even the Nafina, the forwards are, you know, the work rate is there, and the work rate is all around the pitch, but they've just been flat. You know, you get days like that when you're a little bit flat, and you know, to turn that around can be hard, but I suppose they just need to get a spark. They need somebody to drive forward. They need to get somebody, you know, start getting chipping scores, get a cluster of scores together just to get themselves into the game and make, you know, a potential goal as well. But look, they've kind of, you know, they nearly look like they've frozen up a little bit there as well, so they need to just settle and kind of regroup there at half time and get themselves into the game. And you know, they've shown throughout the year so far that they're a good team, so they need to get into their groove and just settle on it as well. But look, it'll be hard because Nafina have come here with a real focus, and they've been very impressive, Shane. You know, we've been looking at them here, and they're just, you know, we can hear them. You know, they're loud, they're talking to each other. On the flip side, then Lucan are quiet. They're, you know, they're playing within themselves. So they've come here really driven for it, and you know, they're some of the scores we see Paul O'D coming up from wing back, nailing
superb scores.
Yeah, absolutely, like real uplifting scores. And you know, Shane Barrett on wing forward, there's a physical presence there with a lot of the skillful players around him as well, so they seem to have a good balance there as well. AJ Murphy with a phenomenal sideline cut there right in the corner. So they're really they're on top of their game, you know, and they're laying down a marker here.
The spread of scoring has been so impressive from the Fianna, just the different scores throughout. But how pivotal, or how much of a game changer was that goal as well laid on in terms of giving the confidence for the Fianna going in at half time and just being even more demoralising for Lucan?
Yeah, well, I suppose it's just shown their dominance on the scoreline, and it's a massive kick on going into half time. I suppose Shawnee McClelland, in fairness, had made a brilliant save initially, and Colin Curry was sniffing around there waiting for the opportunity and buried it. So look, you could say it was coming, and it's obviously going to make that task a lot more difficult for Lucan going in at half time. It's always deflating to concede a goal, but right at that point, yeah, it certainly adds to the difficulty for Lucan now. But look, that's the challenge now, and I suppose look, the scoreline, they can forget about it. They just need to get hurling and start using the ball and playing confident.